Hey everyone, Parish Assistant Ian here. As you may have noticed, the last 2 weeks we've shifted from our regular video bulletins to a Friday reflection. Don't worry, news and Assist the Assistant will continue, but on a less regular basis. Instead, over the next few weeks and months, we'll be primarily sharing reflections from members of the St. Nick's community in this slot. Today I'm recording this on day 9 of my mandatory quarantine, after my holiday in the United States. When I left for home, I assumed this quarantine would come during a time of national celebration, that I'd be stuck inside, nose to the glass, as the summer barbecues, beach parties, and beer garden visits erupted around me. However, I now see that many share my fate, and have been pinged into staying at home, just as I have. Perhaps it's due to the weakness of my personal relationship with God, but I found it really hard to connect spiritually during my quarantine. I think it has something to do with the fact that I'm failing to live in the moment, that I'm counting down the days, willing the time to pass, itching to be outside. But I also think there's something else at work here. Encounters with God can happen at any moment. After all, God is with us in every moment. But I tend to feel closest to God when I have gone and sought her out. Sometimes that's on an evening walk, marveling at the gift of the sunset, a perfect metaphor for the beauty of God's creation. Or a moment of stillness or loudness in church, or in the midst of good friends, with laughter, generosity, and conversation connecting us in an electrifying way. Overall, though, these opportunities for closeness with the divine, in nature, in church, in conversation, tend to be outside the home. Few people think of their own kitchen as a thin place to seek God out. To be fair, I've also had moments of encounter with God in my own home. Usually, that happens when I set aside time and sit quietly to listen, read, and pray. Can't recommend such actions highly enough, but I don't mean to merely recommend this practice. Instead, I think there is a crucial method for meeting God in our homes, which we too often neglect. I take inspiration from a passage in the novel Home by Marilynne Robinson, which I read this week. If we can be divinely fed with a morsel and divinely blessed with a touch, then the terrible pleasure we find in a particular face can certainly instruct us in the nature of the very grandest of love. I'll read it again. If we can be divinely fed with a morsel and divinely blessed with a touch, then the terrible pleasure we find in a particular face can certainly instruct us in the nature of the very grandest of love. The particular human face is the landline to God that I commend to you today. If you live alone, look into yours. It is fearfully and wonderfully made. If you lived with loved ones, look into theirs. It's a walking, talking instruction in the complex beauty of God's creation. I pray you all have a blessed and loving weekend, and I hope to see you at church on Sunday. Thanks so much for watching.